Welcome to my sports show, your weekly sports show here on your home of champions with Muzi Hadebe. You can always visit our website on www.mysports.co.zw. On the show this week, the Warriors lift a sixth COSAFA Castle Cup title in South Africa. The Mighty Warriors failed to make it to AFCON in Ghana. We have the PSL review, and Marco Mambo finishes fifth at the Comrades Marathon. First, a bit of music on the show. I'm not sure if you still remember this one here. Dlala Mapansula imsebenzi ye-TKZ. First here on the program, we're going to start with the Warriors, who lifted their sixth COSAFA Castle Cup after beating Zambia 4-2 with Kama Billiat and Tino Kadewere scoring a brace each. Tino was named the man of the match, and this was his reaction to that feat.
It was going to be a tough game for us, but we have been talking about the game and we told ourselves that we need to be 100%. Eventually, in the beginning of the game, we were in the game, and then as time went on, we went down a bit. Then we considered two silly goals, but we kept on going. We wanted this cup. We really needed it. So it's good that we scored in the 90 minutes, and then eventually we got the victory in the extra time. That was important for us.
Outstanding. There was Tino, but how important was this particular tournament in terms of the Warriors preparing for the upcoming AFCON qualifiers sometime in September? Our analyst Mayfield Daka gives us his view.
The COSAFA 2018 has come and gone, and Zimbabwe winning the tournament by beating Zambia by 4-2. After extra time. It was a repeat of last year's final, and Zimbabwe has made a record by winning the COSAFA for the sixth time, and the coach Sande Mofuchitsama winning it 2 years in a row, which is a record also. Zimbabwe was using the tournament to prepare for the AFCON qualifiers, as Zimbabwe is facing financial challenges. So the coach used some of his seasoned players like Kama Billiat, Karuru and Chukova, and they did not disappoint, helping the team win the cup final. Sande Chizama also used some of upcoming players who raised to the occasion, players like Divine Lunga, Elvis Moyo, and the defensive linkman of Nets, who I think had a brilliant tournament, considering that it was the first time they were called in the national team. I think he will use them again in these qualifiers just to help Zimbabwe qualify for the AFCON, which is a must for Zimbabwe, because it's been long since Zimbabwe qualified for an AFCON tournament. Overall, the teams which played in the tournament showed some great football, especially Zambia, which was using a development side and reached the final once again like last season. Not forgetting teams like Lesotho, Botswana and Swaziland. They've showed great improvement in the standard of football which they played, showing a lot of character from the young players which were brought by the respective coaches, especially the Botswanian striker who won top goal scorer award. Showed some great character in front of goal.
Mayfield Daka on the Warriors. You're listening to My Sports Show with Muzi Hadebe. As the Warriors were celebrating, the mighty Warriors were finding themselves out of the women's AFCON after they were beaten by Zambia by 2-1 at Rufaro Stadium. Our girls had won 1-0 in Zambia to bow out on the away goals rule. Fatigue may have crept into the team after they traveled to Zambia and returned by road. Are we giving these girls enough time? Are we giving these girls enough support? That's the question that will continue lingering in the minds of many Zimbabwean soccer fans. Tough luck them to the mighty Warriors. Away from the national teams, week 15 of the Kasulaga Premier Soccer League saw FC Platinum go top after they beat Ngezi at the Baobao Stadium. It was the top of the table clash, 1 and 2 clashing them. It was Ngezi's second defeat in a row, and Ngezi Platinum Stars coach Tonderai Ndiraya says they could have avoided the penalty that they conceded.
Very disappointing result. I thought we had done enough to get 3 points. But due to cases of concentration, we considered what I can call a silly penalty. You know, you don't do that in the box. You might want to call it soft, but look, you don't do that in the box. You just need to be alert and not jump in like what our defender did, like what Frank Makarati did. And then, of course, the free goal. Yeah, it happens in football. I thought our boy, Tatenda Mditi, was not alert. He didn't anticipate, such a shot, which also happens. But I think it's all to do with experience. He's a young boy. He had done really well, in between the sticks, but he failed to manage that free kick. I thought we were correctly positioned. He was also correctly positioned, but he never anticipated that such a shot would come. So I would probably also want to give credit to Neva Tigere for such a wonder goal. It won them the game today. They got 3 points. But overall, I thought first half we were pushing forward in numbers. I thought we were good in all aspects of the game. But I thought second half we were defending deep. I don't know if it was a case of tiredness or what, but FC Platinum were probing. They did well to keep the ball, keep probing at us, and finally they got what deserved. Look, it's quite disappointing to lose a game in such a manner from a coach point of view.
Meanwhile, Norman Mapeza believes the championship is far away from being decided despite their big victory away from home.
After we conceded that first goal, I could tell the players were a little bit dejected. But I have to go inside the pitch and try to calm them down. Then at half time I said to the boys, look, we are doing well. I think in terms of ball possession, we're far much better. Let's keep knocking the ball around. They'll get tired. Lucky enough, they came second half. They wanted to play, and I think it suited us well. Hence we will take out Nkokeli and put Rodo in front to keep the ball for us. Still too early. We still have 18 games to go. If you guys want to decide who's going to win the league, it's up to you, not me. I know it's still game on.
Bulaya Chiefs edged Highlanders 1-0 as Ariel Sibanda was red-carded after 30 minutes for handling the ball outside the box. Gracious Mulea scored the only goal from a free kick, a beautiful one, his 5th of the season. We spoke to Chiefs analyst who can't be the coach at the moment as he does not hold a CAF A license, although he holds a Scottish license and spends most of the time at training with the team. Here is Sibanda. Tulani, you are not the head coach at Bulawayo Chiefs, but still involved in the technical department in terms of analysis. Another big win for your team. First year in the Premier League by the smallest of margins, winning this one 1-0. What did you make of the match?
Yeah, I think as from the time we were going to play in Ngezi. You realize that at one time we had problems with finance, so the morale was down. But the executive has rectified that. There are plans to cover up for that. So going into the Ngezi Platinum game, we actually said, gentlemen, as much as we are in these problems, but we cannot just let our season fall away like that. We need to pick it up. We need to find the solutions ourselves. And I think the boys took the message from that time on. That's what they're exhibiting now.
And from a technical point of view, what would you say was your strength today in beating a Highlanders team that attacked you very well in the second half?
You realize that both Highlanders and Ngezi Platinum, they are good technically. They attack you from using both the wings and the center. They are good all round. So coming into these matches, we actually began a training. We emphasized on closing play and counter-attacking, or closing play, quick break attacking. We're not worried with having to pass 2 or 3 passes. What we wanted was that long pass to our central striker, who we know has got pace, and then being quick in joining up that lone striker. I think it has worked for us in the 2 games.
Quite interesting that you say it has worked, but you have also picked some crucial wins besides that big one against Ngezi Platinum Stars, also drawing with Caps United, just losing narrowly to Dynamos right here at Barberfield Stadium. What do these results do to your team?
We don't want to put pressure on the players in terms of, you see, we are not target oriented, but we are performance oriented. So you realize that a loss doesn't carry over to the next game, because what we are actually looking at is the performance of the boys. You realize most of the boys in this team are young boys, so our emphasis is on developing them. We need to work very hard on their technique, work on their tactical ability. So I can see a much improved side from what we've been doing over the past weeks. If you look at a player like Clement Makamba, very young, 20 years old, stepped in. He was one of the boys who was actually making us tick. So it's actually a plus for us. We're happy with that, yeah.
And Gracious scoring his 5th of the season. He continues to do very well, covering up very well for Captain Kundishora, who is still injured.
Gracious actually took up the armband from Moses Machiga, because Moses Machiga was the vice captain to Kundishora Chakanyuka. But we thought that during Moses Machiga's time we didn't have enough leadership. So I'm happy with the leadership that is being exhibited by Gracious in there. You realize even in terms of our discipline with the match officials, we have improved so much. You don't see our boys complaining. You don't see our boys querying match officials' decisions. It is because of the captain. We hope and trust that he will carry us through. We will wait for Kundi. We know he's got a long-term injury, but he's a leader. When these two combine, something positive will come out.
Quite interesting, and you keep on saying that you want to see your team improving. Do you think that maybe the red card today was also an advantage to your team? It was a correct decision, by the way, by the referee after Ariel hanged it outside the box.
Yeah, obviously. You can't finish 11 versus 11 with Islanders and find it easy, like it happened in the second half. They're a positional team, they move, they are mobile, they've got everything. Their takeoff is good, almost everything that they have is good. So obviously when they were 1 man down, we had that numerical advantage, which obviously protected us through for the 90 minutes. Yeah.
And what differences have you made Division 1 and Premier League? You have coached for a long time in Division 1, and with these a few results that your team has been picking, what differences have you made? What will keep you going as an analyst as well as a coach, obviously still waiting for that CAF A license?
Yeah, I think with Division 1, you see I have stayed in the Ziffa Southern region for a long time, almost 10 years. When you look at the tactical ability of most teams in Division 1, they don't have so many systems to look at, or so many systems to attend to. But when you look at coming into the Premier League, you have to deal with so many systems. At one time you think you have met a team that is emphasizing more on pressing, and then the next time you find a team that is playing the second ball. At one time you are coming across a team that is using wing play like Ngezi Platinum does, And then at one time, you are finding a team that builds from the back, like FC Platinum does. So you learn a lot of things. We are learning each and every day.
Thulani Sibanda confident that they will continue learning. Last week, Shabani Mine were involved in 4 goals as they lost 4-0 to FC Platinum. They did the same this week, again being involved in 4 goals as they came from 2 goals down to force a 2-2 draw with Black Rhinos at McGlass Stadium. Colin Nigisim was watching the match.
The Shabani Mine house was on fire heading into their must-win Week 16 league fixture against the Black Rhinos at McGlass Stadium. True to the Shona saying, Zino Zakanga Ziri Manyama Amirene Rongo, such that one could feel the negativity as you walked around the Shabani for the greater part of the week, which is not usually the case, especially in the build-up to Shabani Mine matches at home. There is always positivity and nothing else but positivity. But for the first time this season, that match hype, that match fever that normally occurs in the run-up to Shabani Mine's matches was non-existent. Understandably so. The reasons were so evident. The heavy defeat to FC Platinum in the Shabani derby was difficult to fathom and swallow for many. And when they least expected redemption, the team's preparations for the game against Black Rhinos were thrown into disarray. First, the threats by the players to boycott the game over unpaid salaries and allowances. And secondly, the shock resignation by Tekshira Chiragwi and 2 members of his backroom staff meant that Shabani Mine headed into this particular match incapacitated. And as a result, they had to turn to physical trainer Chris Moyo, who had to assume a dual role, although he would constantly refer to Rowan Ninzou via written instructions on pieces of paper. Ninzou, Muwuya and Gerald Piri had to be content with a seat in the terraces as the club had failed to regularize their papers on time. On match day, there was supporter apathy as the majority of the Shabani Mine supporters stayed away. And moving on to the game itself, Varu supporters saw their side absorbing waves of pressure, especially for the greater part of the first half, as the home team players put on a horror show, prompting men in the stadium to assume the players were on a go slow. The players were pedestrian in their approach, showed no commitment and character in the first stanza, and it only took a tongue lashing at the breather for them to turn things around. But in the game itself, Rhinos capitalized on that as they took the lead in the 8th minute as big defender Tafadzwa Jaridhani came up with the blistering 38-meter long range free kick to beat an unsighted and flat-footed Bigite Mera in Shabani Mine goals. Rhinos would then increase their lead after 38 minutes, courtesy of top marksman Lord Chiwunga, who got his reward after Masimba Mambari made hay in the space behind the left wing back Trevor Chigede, assisting Chiwunga to rifle home the second goal from 20 yards out. The second goal silenced the home fans and led to calls for change in players' attitude and personnel as the team headed into the break 2-0 down. But in the second stanza, Varu came back a rejuvenated team as they started to play with more conviction and heart. Although chances were few and far, Varu managed to peg back a complacent Black Rhinos with waves of attack after the other, and as a result, Chauya Chipembere had to defend so deep, allowing Shabani Mine to have more of the ball, and subsequently so Shabani Mine managed to get their first goal, courtesy of Tatenda Makoe, before they got the equalizing goal after 86 minutes, courtesy of the 8-goal hero, David Temnganjira. But after the match, Rhinos coach Herbert Marua blamed these charges for losing concentration at crucial moments, while Shabani stand-in coach Chris Moyo was delighted with the comeback and he praised these charges for turning up in the second half.
So Rowan Ninzou, who has also played for Black Rhinos, could be the new coach then at Shabani Mine. We wait to see how that one is going to pan out. The rest of the PSL results, so Cape United returning to winning ways with a 1-0 win over Bulawayo City. Chicken Inn beat Herentals by 2-0. Muchaneka as well as Tarumba on target. Triangle won at Nikrut by 1-0. ZPC Kariba and Harare City played to a goalless draw in Kariba. Dynamos won away at Mutare City, and that was a very important win for the Glamour boys. And Yadam were comprehensive winners over Chapungu, winning by 3-0 with Johannes Sibanda, who also scored when they drew with Bulawayo City 3-3, managing a press from that particular tie. Interesting PSL results they're coming through as the teams now will play their last match before they go into the break, just for them to re-strategize and see how they can win their upcoming matches. This is my sports show here on your home of champions with Muzi Hadebe. You can always visit our website www.mysports.co.zw. As we always do on the show, we give you the Southern Region netball results as they entered week 6, and the Golden Girls going down to Mkoko by 29-11. Sobuga's beating Sparrows 41-34, and there was also victory for Kami, a close one this time. They remain unbeaten in the opening 6 matches, beating Mawaweni 21-20. Lobengula Queens beat Nasty Star for 51-31. Masia Select also went down to Fabridge 26-22. There was also a comprehensive victory for Blanket Mine, who clobbered Tail 1 119-3. That was a massive one. They coming through from Blanket Mine, as well as Real Stars managing to beat Lethal Angels 40-12. Kami still at the top as they remain unbeaten as well in the netball Southern Region. That's the week 6 results. Lastly, on my sports show, we take a look at the Comrades Marathon, which was on over the weekend in KwaZulu-Natal, Durban in South Africa. And Zimbabwe's Marco Mambo finished 5th. He was the best placed Zimbabwean. A proud performance from him. Prodigal Kumalo, based in South Africa, but a Zimbabwean, finished 11th. And Mike Fokorani was 19th. So not so many good performances coming through there from our athletes. Lionel Muchena also picked an injury after 45 kilometers halfway through the race. Very unfortunate there. Here is a report of some of the stints that Mambo had as he led a part of the race. Zimbabwe's Marco Mambo has finished 5th at the 90-kilometer Comrades Marathon in KwaZulu-Natal, Durban in South Africa. Mambo, who finished in 11th position last year at the same race, was 12 minutes behind the winner, Musa Mutembo of South Africa, who clocked 5 hours 26 minutes. Mutembo also won this race last year, and this was his 3rd title overall after he won it again in 2014. He becomes the first athlete to retain the title since 2011, when Zimbabwe's Stephen Mujingi achieved that fate. Mambo led the race after 3 hours 43 minutes until 2016 winner David Katebe broke away to lead briefly until Mutembo broke away after 4 hours 16 minutes and never looked back to win this race. For his pain, Mutembo collected 440,000 rands, a further 200,000 rands as the first South African to finish, and a further 45,000 as the first KwaZulu-Natal athlete to finish. Mambo will be 68,000 rands richer for finishing in 5th position. Over 20,000 runners took part in the race, and close to 200 Zimbabweans were also part of the 20,000. The race was traditionally an 89-kilometer race. A kilometer was added to ensure a finish at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. It was 1-2 for South Africa in the women's race, with Annie Ashworth a lawyer by profession, finishing first in 6 hours 10 minutes. And then the Two Oceans Marathon winner, Jeda Stein, missed out on a double, finishing 5 minutes behind to come second. But 40-year-old Bosman, who has won this race before, did well as well to finish in the top 10 in terms of the women. So a good one for Marco Mambo of Zimbabwe, finishing 5th at the Comrades Marathon. So Musa Temple retaining his Comrades Marathon title, and this was his reaction to the big achievement, as this was his 3rd Comrades overall.
It's such an amazing, unbelievable, humbling, very emotional. But I'm glad that my work that I put in, all those miles, all those kilometers, all those sacrifices, all the dedication, today I think it's paid off. It's such an awesome feeling for me in my career. I'm glad I hang in there. The guys, they started very early, but I kept pushing up until I had to use them. I'm very happy. I'm quite excited. Yeah, as I've said, it was very emotional, you know. I've been putting a lot of work on my training. I've been out of the country for a long time. I'm happy that it's paid off. You know, as I lay down there, I think about the work that I did. I think about whatever I went through to do my preparation, but I'm very happy. God is amazing. I'd like to thank all umuntu othanda ukungumusa nolandela ukungumusa. Enkingeni nasebumnandini ngiyajabula ukuthi bonke abantu bakhombisa ukumthanda ukungumusa, ikakhulukazi la esifundazweni sakithi KwaZulu-Natal. Ngihlezi ngibaqhamanga ngiyathemba ukuthi olunga njalo ngize kube ngiyaretire.
So the Comrades Marathon bringing to an end my sports show here on your home of champions. You can always visit our website for these and many of the other stories on www.mysports.co.zw. My name is Muzi Hadebe. We started the show with that old piece of music from TKZ. We're going to close the show with this one. I really used to enjoy listening to it, and I haven't had time to get to listen to it on the radio, but we'll play it here on my sports show. Bongo Muffin.